Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Maximilian College Basketball Conference Tournament previews. And for today, we will be going over picks and analysis for the Southland Conference Tournament. And before we start, make sure like, subscribe, and go ahead and check out those other conference tournament previews up on my channel. There's still plenty of time to get in on a lot of them. They're getting ready to start, or some of them they just did the first round. So the teams that we took futures on are still available. Yes, so go ahead and check those out. But as always, here we start with the bracket. And, anything that stands out. This is on a neutral in Louisiana, and only 8 teams in the Southland make it. So they do some cuts as well. And as you can see here, we've got a gauntlet style bracket. And if you watched my Sunbelt preview, I bashed that style for that conference. There's just too many teams in the Sunbelt that can win it. It's close every year. There was a 6-way tie for second this year. There was a 4-way tie for first last year. But in this conference, this is a perfect example of where it makes sense. McNeese, is always so good in this conference. So you want them to be rewarded if they are dominant in the regular season. And SF Austin's been dominant as well. So these were clearly, the 2 best teams in the conference, and they get rewarded for that. You want them representing the Southland. It makes, a lot of sense here. And the maximum amount of games you can play if you are, those last teams that got in is what, three games in 3 days or 4 games in 4 days. So not like the stairway to 7 in the Sunbelt. So yeah, it makes sense here. And it is reflected in the odds board. I mean, we got McNeese at plus 115 and SF Austin at plus 125. So it does look like we are heading for a 1 versus 2, which is exactly what this conference wants here. I think the strategy for this one is kind of a 2-pronged. It's first, who do we like in McNeese and SF Austin, in that hypothetical championship game? And if it's not one of those teams that make it, who has the best chance to pull off an upset maybe? And I think you have to look at those 3 teams actually, New Orleans, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, and UT Rio Grande. And the one that we'll start with the one that has the longest odds, that's New Orleans there. And if they were to get past Houston Christian and Corpus Christi, they are the team that did beat SF Austin outside of McNeese. SF Austin was able to take care of business against everyone. That New Orleans team, they've been kind of funky. I don't know if they're worth a 30-1, but they started their year off with a win at TCU, and it's just been kind of weird ever since. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose to Houston Christian, but they're very very high variance game to game, so I'm fine avoiding New Orleans. Corpus Christi, I don't like their matchup with SF Austin either. I thought SFA looked pretty good in those. The team that's very intriguing is UT Rio Grande. They split with McNeese in the regular season, so if they were able to play, they could pose a threat there to McNeese. And the 2 games were very close. I mean, this UT Rio Grande team is very good at shooting. They are the best 3-point shooting team in the conference, and they do shoot a lot from deep. So, they could pull off the upset potentially, but, these odds here, I mean, McNeese and SF Austin, they're pretty good, pretty consistent. So I would be shocked. And I do think we do get a 1 versus 2 here in the conference tournament. And, it'll make for an interesting game. They split the regular season series, and the 2 games they played were the first one was 61 possessions and the second was 70 possessions. I do think if they play here in this game, in the championship, I think we get a slow one. So I would be looking to play the under. I think we get something closer to 60 possessions than the 70 possessions in the first game. Another interesting point about these teams here is, SF Austin and McNeese actually have 2 first-year head coaches, with Will Wade taking the NC State job. He did leave Bill Armstrong for McNeese in a good spot here. They were able to reload. This is one of the best It probably is the best program in the Southland. And then SF Austin made a great hire getting Matt Brower. He comes from under the Grant McCaslin coaching tree and brings a lot of those principles over to this team, and I could see this SF Austin team kind of turning into what McCaslin had that program going at North Texas. I could see them on that same trajectory. So yeah, in year one, got the 1 seed here and it's going well. The question is, who would I take? Now, for the record, this is actually the first conference tournament preview that we've done where I did not actually take the bet. Every other one I've done, I've got bets on those teams. This is one I don't love from a betting standpoint because, like I said, I would take McNeese here at plus 115. And it's just because I think they do play SF Austin. And I don't want to take SF Austin at plus 125 because if they matched up against McNeese in the championship, I'm pretty confident that McNeese would be favored. I think like the minus 120 range or above. So I don't want to take SF Austin plus 125 when, I might be able to get a plus 120 number, somewhere in that range if they were to play each other in the championship. Now, the reason why I don't want to bet this one either is because, McNeese might be a favorite in the final, but that's the team that I'm kind of worried about. If one of these two teams was to not make the final, McNeese is the one that I'm worried about because, like I said, the third favorite there, UT Rio Grande, good shooting team. If one of them was going to get upset, I could see them doing it. So if I had to bet it, like I said, I'm taking McNeese here. If you like SF Austin, I think you can wait till the final and get a good number because like I said, they're probably going to play McNeese. Obviously, if UT Rio Grande upsets them, then SF Austin plus 125 was a good number to grab. But if you're like me and you think we do get McNeese versus SF Austin, I think the better play here is just lock in McNeese at a plus number because they would ultimately be favored over SF Austin, in my opinion. And that will do it for today's Southland Tournament preview and analysis. Thanks so much for watching, and go ahead and like and subscribe and check out the other conference tournament previews up on my channel. Best of luck, everyone, and thanks so much for watching.